Jarvis, drop my needle.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and if you are interested in listening to idiots, you came to the right place. Have a nice day.
Woo! That's an attention getter.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
You know, of course, that you're out of your jurisdiction.
Personally, I think you're an idiot.
But that's the evidence in the car.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Always like to keep my audience riveted.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends and fiends, and welcome to Free Range Idiocy, the podcast about everything, but mostly just the stuff we like. It's that time of year again when the beaches are crowded, the temps are soaring, and the sweat is running down the crack of your ass like Colorado to the Grand Canyon, which can mean only one thing: professional wrestling. I don't know how that works. I'm just trusting in the science. At any rate, we have a full 2 nights of wrestling action as WWE expands one of the big four to double its size, which means we're legally obligated to make our picks and predictions in this episode 212, Hot Fun in the Summertime, our SummerSlam preview. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the man who did the job in a dark match before the first SummerSlam in 1988. He has been my partner in idiocy for over 2 decades, and is the only person for whom Mike Sharp has a winning record. I give you the man they call Tim.
Hurt, heel, hurt, heel. Hurt, heel, hurt, heel, hurt, heel. Hurt, heel, hurt, heel, hurt, heel.
Is this like Marco Polo?
Catching flies in his mouth.
What the frack?
Tasting freedom while he dares, then crawling back to the top of the stairs. He won't see the sun again for years to come.
What fever dream is this?
He's broken out of love. Hurt, heel, hurt, heel, hurt, heel, hurt, heel. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and salutations. That is the theme.
What the hell was that?
Called Let Me In by Code Orange. It is The Fiend.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's amazing when you actually read the lyrics what the hell they're singing.
Wow. The funny thing is, so you remember Alice's Restaurant? Arlo Guthrie?
Yes.
When you get to the point where he says, shrink, I want to kill. I mean, I want to see veins and gore and guts in my teeth. Kill. Like when you were doing the hurt heel thing, that was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yep.
It's like, are we getting to? Yeah. Anyways, so
how are you, sir?
I'm doing
on
all
this
right.
Fine Free Range Idiocy Friday.
I'm pretty good for the shape I'm in. How about you?
I'm feeling good. I got the big gold belt over my shoulder, baby.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
I'm just hoping that shoulder dislocates. But anyways.
No, I'm feeling good. So, yep.
Look at it. Oh my gosh, look at the light. You gotta find a way so the light is not like gleaming off of that. It's terrible for video.
It's ridiculously... Yeah, it's such a big belt. Love it.
Let's face it, that belt is more photogenic than both of us put together.
It is. I mean, look at that thing. It's just phenomenal.
It's glorious.
It is glorious.
Oh, well, anyways, this is our SummerSlam preview. The first time in history we get a 2-night SummerSlam. It is the second of the big four to go to 2 nights. I ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What is the next logical of the big four to go to 2 nights? Do you think Royal Rumble or Survivor Series? Because it's going to happen, right?
If they could have the right story in place, I could see a 2-night Survivor Series where both nights are capped off with a War Games match. Could almost do a women's and a men's.
Okay. I actually feel like Royal Rumble is more the next logical step, if only because the Royal Rumble match, there is no way around it. It takes bare minimum an hour. Like You couldn't. It has to be an hour, and you have 2 of those matches on the card. So like there's little room for anything else.
And you have 2 world titles on both sides for both male and female. Now the thing is to not have it be an all female show, and I guess you could do an all female show and an all male show, but I don't know. I prefer it be more mixed. And
well, I don't think you'd have to. I think you could, through the mixture of the other matches, I think you could mix and match that way. What I mean is also fact that
because you have the women's Royal Rumble, right?
Correct.
But you have the women's world title, you have the women's WWE title, and then you have the men's counterparts to those 2.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is that you don't align the event and then the 2 title, or sorry, the main event, which is the Royal Rumble, and the 2 title matches on the same night. Like mix them up, like cross pollinate.
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily even have to have both of those titles all 4 of those titles defended on that night, because I mean, really, the Rumble is the deal, and you're kind of kicking off your run to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it would actually, in a way, open up the night to then be like, oh, hey, we can start setting the stage for maybe, I don't know, some tag team storylines.
Fair enough.
Or, some of the lower belts, and just let the Rumble be the Rumble, and that kind of be the highlight for what's going to happen in the World Championship, bracket for both. I don't even know if you have to, unless you have an incredibly compelling storyline. I don't even know if you have to defend any of the World Championships at that. Like that to me would be interesting. Is like you're dealing with women's IC belt, men's IC belt. You have the U.S. championships. You have your tag championships. Like, get some of those some breathing room. Get some of those going with some great storylines that will then pay off in WrestleMania, because you're already like saying, hey, the story is mostly like who's going to get the shot at WrestleMania. That's way more interesting, unless you, like I said, unless you have an incredibly hot feud that will further or play into that. Just let it be that. That would be my idea. But I see your point too with the Survivor Series. Like that could be kind of cool too. I just feel like it's a more ripe fruit for Royal Rumble.
Well, and I see your point with Royal Rumble, because you're basically dedicating 2 hours of the event to just that those 2 matches, and then you're not going to have much more. You're probably going to have a 4-hour event at most. So if you split it up into 2 nights, then you have the Rumble be the main event for both nights, and then you have plenty of space at that point to have a world title match, maybe a secondary title match, or a tag match as well. But I also could see something done, if the story is right. And that's the key thing is like, I can't see every year doing Survivor Series as 2 nights with War Games as the main event, because, it could feel a little forced, or a little like, we're trying to like ram this down your throat sort of thing. So Royal Rumble might be the more organic one to split into 2 nights, because those 2 matches, the men's and the women's, ends up consuming about half the evening, and you'd only have so much time to do 3 matches, maybe 4 matches in the undercard if you're lucky.
Oh, you can't even get that.
Probably more 3 matches if anything.
I want to say there was like 2 matches on the undercard for the Rumble this past year. We'd have to go back. I'll let you go back, but that's why I feel like, especially being like the big, the start of the road to WrestleMania, like consistently you could make that event 2 nights. Consistently every single year, because then you could really kind of start setting the table for feuds that are going to pay off in a couple months.
You're right. It was the men's and the women's Royal Rumble, and then it was the SmackDown, so the WWE Tag Team Championships 2 out of 3 falls match between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns.
Gosh,
and then the undisputed WWE Championship ladder match, where it was both the undisputed belt and the Winged Eagle belt, or as Kevin Owens would call it, the Eagle belt, are suspended above the ring. Those were the only 2 matches, and then it was the men's Royal Rumble. So that was 4 matches total.
I mean, I just feel like there's a lot more opportunities there than
Yeah.
Survivor Series.
Fair enough.
But anyways, that was a nice little sidetrack that we had there. Before we get into our predictions here, we promised on Wednesday that we were going to talk more about the passing of the incredible Hulk
the
Hogan.
mortal.
I
said mortal, not immortal.
Oh, I was going to say
the mortal,
the highly mortal Hulk Hogan. Now,
brother.
I'm going to put a link to something here where we have Jim Cornette talking about the passing of Hulk Hogan, and I saw this and I was waiting for it to show up on YouTube, and then I saw it was like an hour and a half, and I'm like, oh dear God.
Yeah, no kidding.
And the funny thing is, he kind of like I have not made my way all the way through it. I'm
holding this belt, by the way, because this is the one Hogan held for most of his tenure in WWE.
Except what was it? Wasn't it like a green leather strap? Like when he first won. It was a very weird.
It was a totally different belt.
Yeah.
Totally different belt from this one.
Very different. Yeah.
Yeah. This I think came into play in 88. I think so Andre beat Hogan in that Saturday Night's Main Event.
Mm-hmm.
That turned into a controversy because there was the whole Hebner twins bit that happened there. And I think at the time the storyline was the commissioner put the belt up for WrestleMania 4, which was a tournament.
Yes.
That's where Macho Man won. I think this was the first time this belt appeared as the world title.
Yeah.
For WWE. And then this was the world title at least through I think 97.
Yeah. But
and then it was the much bigger, it was still the eagle, but it was a more solid, like it didn't have these like on the side, you see these sort of like wings or these like this adornment on the side. Like it was just a single circle and it was an eagle as the center point. That was in like 98 when Austin was champion. So
yeah, but there was something in between the winged eagle and that original belt.
Yeah.
But it was still very much kind of like a more traditional. That was the winged eagle belt was the first one that kind of broke the mold as far as stepping out from the traditional plate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It had some shape to it, you know.
But the one Hogan won from Iron Sheik, I actually wish they kept that belt going forward because that was really cool. The style of it was a nice big sort of thick belt, and on the sides, instead of having these sort of generic plate adornments, I believe what they had on were the names and years of the reign of the champions leading up to the current. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I thought was way more interesting. You know, like I thought just
it's
as
like
a fan,
Stanley Cup thing.
Yeah, kind of in a way. Now, of course, you had to keep replacing it when, you know, as more champions came along, you had to kick off the older ones. But the fact you had the adornments were not just ceremonial, but more around who the prior champions, more recent champions were, I thought was kind of a cool touch.
Totally.
But unfortunately, I think after he won, there was like a smaller belt, which I think is on www.shop.com. It looks more international like. It has a lot of the international flags on it.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, so yeah, that I
and Hogan held that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he held that for a period, and then I think when Savage won the WrestleMania 4 tournament, this was the prize.
Okay.
And then Hogan won that from Savage in the year the next year at WrestleMania 5.
Yeah. So the thing is, the reason we kind of punted this a little, not to just group all of our wrestling content together, but because there is a bit to talk about with Hulk Hogan. Like it's a complicated legacy because of several things. We've got the video of him making comments and basically saying I am a little bit racist. And, his comments going, yes, the comments confirm that. Might as well have Maury Povich there. Well, the results are in. And then you also have the politicking, the backstage politicking that he has been alleged for over and over, and you have different people refuting it and all that. And then you also have the line of stories that he has thrown out there through the years, such as like, oh yeah, he got the Make-A-Wish kid a ringside seat at Wembley to see him wrestle. Hulk Hogan never wrestled at Wembley Stadium. Things like that are easily disprovable.
Which I think is Uncle Corny's kind of main thesis, is just the fact that Hogan unfortunately told a lot of tall tales.
Well, and in an understandable way, because and this is where Corny was kind of more level-headed. He did go off off on him a little bit, but basically saying like that was basically how you could do things back in the day, because the folks he would talk to in mainstream media weren't wise to the business. They didn't know anything about it, so he could kind of say whatever he wanted, and he just kept on kind of doing that forever because he figured that was just how he learned how to do it, and then would end up saying stuff that it's like, dude, that's so easy to check. So easy to check. Even in a pre-internet era, like I have the video for the one SummerSlam that was at Wembley. You aren't on it. So yeah, it's a complicated sort of thing, but I think the thing that, and I think Corny sums this up, especially the made up stories. Corny says his real ones were good enough. He was the mega sensation in the wrestling business, which is what kind of is like, dude, if you just hadn't made all this stuff up, like your real stories are enough. I would say, and you can correct me on this if you would like, for better or worse, however you feel about his political beliefs, his fibs, the way that he worked things backstage, all of that, Hulk Hogan is probably the most important figure in professional wrestling history.
Yeah.
And it is insane when you really think about the things that this guy did in terms of the probably three distinct eras of height of heights. He had that initial 80s run, brought into the WWF, is the champ of all champs. Then when he goes to WCW, and especially after he turns heel, you can make an argument he's the biggest face draw and the biggest heel draw of all time, which is kind of nuts. And then when he kind of makes that comeback in the 2000s and has the run and has the match with Rock at WrestleMania, like it's insane to think about how much money this guy drew. And then you factor into, just his cultural significance. And it's crazy to look at what this guy did.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, am I off my off base here?
No, not at all. I think no, I mean you hit the nail on the head. I mean, he has the run in the 80s, which is unparalleled. And he reached, it's one of those things, and it's funny, I've talked at times with my wife about this and with one of my younger sisters who grew up in the 80s kind of with me. And I'm curious about your thoughts on this too, and maybe this is a show topic for another time, but what was it about the 80s? Because I don't, and maybe I'm just biased to it because it was my childhood. Maybe the 90s existed in a similar way for kids who grew up in that time period, and same with the 2000s. But I just felt like there was a lot of inflection points when it came to things like music, cinema, professional wrestling, where you had things being done that hadn't been done before. And Hogan was one of those things that had never been done before. Like professional wrestling had never existed at the level of popularity that it did when Hogan was world champion. Like and some of it was a culmination of the times, I hate to say like the politics of the times, but especially his match where he beat the Iron Sheik. Like I watched that, like that was something that was posted in the WWE channel on YouTube the evening after it was announced that he passed away. And I watched that match, and so much of, and it's not saying Iron Sheik was not skilled as a heel in and of himself, but to see the way the crowd reacted to him because of what he associated himself with. And to see the way the crowd reacted to Hogan because of what he associated himself with. These days, that sort of reaction would not work. Like it was an encapsulation of the times that they both lived in, where it was a very clear, America is the hero and the foreigner is the villain sort of thing. And I don't think that works. It definitely doesn't work today. It's there like it's not as clear cut a thing. And quite honestly, I don't know culturally that it would be accepted either, because of the fact that, our sensibilities have changed so much since then. But at that time, him overcoming, the idea of him being kind of a proxy of Hogan as America overcoming Iran was the thing that really also elevated him, as well as the fact that he was this, larger than life character and was now, kind of holding the world championship of the company he was a part of. And he goes on this run where, they threw every bad guy they could at him, and there was a formula. Like I remember thinking as a kid too, especially kind of toward the end of his run as champion, before Andre, beat him and it became, WrestleMania 4 and then Savage, was how formulaic it was becoming. It was just like, I knew what the formula was going to be. Hogan was beaten down. Hogan, they raised a bunch of questions. Could Hogan beat this guy or not? And then in, the one of the big four, whether it was SummerSlam, WrestleMania, or Survivor Series, could Hogan rise to the occasion? And he always did,
So I just want to point out there was one incredibly tasteless, but also quite good memes talking about Hulk Hogan, and it was like, doctor, I'm very sorry, but it appears that Hulk Hogan has passed away. And then it was asterisk, Hulk Hogan's arm starts to twitch, starts to shake. He's like, doctor, wait a minute.
Oh, come on now.
I'm like,
so wrong.
I would not put it past Hogan to try and Hulk up against death.
The Grim Reaper, baby.
The Grim Reaper couldn't quite pin him.
I know.
He's not going to do the job for death.
But
it was terrible, but it was funny.
It was. And he had a very auspicious end to his WWE time when he lost to Yokozuna the way that he did at King of the Ring 93. It became clear, he won at WrestleMania 9. It became clear he was not going to be the guy moving forward. He put over Yokozuna, and Yoko was going to end up, going on a run, that we hadn't really seen anyone do in quite some time, because he was just such just a champion that no one really could overcome. But to your point, Hogan moves on to WCW and he continues his shtick. And then 96 happens when he changes, he does the heel turn, which no one ever saw coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it was brilliant, no doubt. I mean, Eric Bischoff should get all the flowers in the world for thinking about, with Hall and Nash and with Hogan flipping the script and having Hogan become the thing he never was. And when he does this, he then creates this boom period for wrestling again.
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. He's tied to two different boom periods for the industry.
Yep. For two different companies. And here's the thing, as you talked about that WCW run, here's the thing that stands out to me the most, and it probably sounds very minor in the grand scheme of things. I don't remember exactly what the award show was, but when the NWO was at its apex in terms of popularity and in terms of cultural impact in America, Hogan, Nash, and Hall made an appearance. I think it was the Emmys. It may have been, I don't think it was something like the Oscars, though, because that just feels too much. Emmys would make more sense because
Emmys, television. I think, is probably more what it was. But the NWO had a presence throughout that show, not just in one spot. but they were kind of like making their way to the stage or whatever, and they would have like different skits where they were like talking to different celebrities, or I don't know, physically imposing themselves on different celebrities or whatever. But I mean, the fact that the three of them, with Hogan at the center of it, had a presence on a show like that, and everyone was on board with it. Like, when they showed up on stage, the crowd popped. And this is a crowd of celebrities, mind you. Like, that to me
Cable
is...
Ace Awards?
What's that?
I think it's the Cable Ace Award.
Okay, was it Cable Ace? Okay. So, okay, not a major award show, but an award show of some kind.
So this is November 96, according to one of the commenters.
Okay. But my point is, they show up, they get a huge reaction from the celebrities present there as well as the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's like, that was one of those points to me when wrestling kind of transcended wrestling. It was now kind of an accepted part of entertainment as a whole.
Well, but think of it this way too, like even before that, and I totally understand where you're coming from with this, and it's totally, you're right. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. But think of it this way. That's probably, even though that is kind of a breakthrough moment, probably the second or third or fourth time you could say that. Because, I mean, we had Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling on Saturday morning cartoons.
Yep.
You had Saturday night's main event.
Yes.
Which, now it's like, it's that thing. No, you don't understand. Like back in the day, to preempt Saturday Night Live, even though Saturday Night Live might not have been at one of its high points, but still a big deal. To preempt SNL for wrasslin on a major network back before cable was like just an accepted thing that everybody had. Like that was back when you had to go out of your way to have cable. Not everybody had it. So if you were on like one of the big networks, holy crap, that was a big deal. And I mean, I'm sure there's got to be at least one or two others, because I mean, of course you have Hogan's movie. You had No Holds Barred, which say
we've done an episode on that. Ooh.
Yeah, say whatever you want about the mound of cocaine that took place for them to write that. But I mean, even beyond that, like Hogan, you could even say Hogan in movies, because he was already in Rocky 3. That's a big deal. Like, so I mean, even though that is a huge deal, like the NWO showing up and being accepted and getting a pop and all that, it's, if you go back, it's like, that's not the first time. It's nuts. It's nuts how much of like wrestling history kind of turns on Hulk Hogan, especially in this era. Now, of course, you could go back to like Bruno Sammartino back in the 50s and what, I mean, every era has its thing, but damn, as far as like drawing money, it's tough to argue with Hogan. Really is. Anyways, I interrupted you. I'm sorry, sir.
No worries. No, but to your point, I mean, the man just, to transcend wrestling into the entertainment industry on two separate occasions is, something that needs to be noted and certainly called out. I mean, it's the industry isn't where it is and I think Triple H said it best over the weekend on SmackDown and again on Raw last night, is they are not in the position they're in today without him. And they're not. He is, I think it is a very apt thing to say that he is the Babe Ruth of professional wrestling. I mean, he had such an impact on having that industry go from being this carny sort of, lower level form of entertainment that I think it was viewed as, and elevating it up into something that was commonplace and accepted and followed by a mainstream fan base. And, he has, he is the foundation upon which other superstars, ended up building their stardom off of. And, without, and Hogan, can't be Hogan without the Savages and the Andre the Giants and, the heels that ended up being his foils, because without Big Boss Man,
King Kong Bundy
is another good
Roddy
one.
Piper, dude.
Yep. Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff. there were so many that he faced off against that, were compelling bad guys against his very, and back, again, back in the 80s, it was very clear good guy versus bad guy. Today it's a little more shades of gray. And he contributed to some of that with his NWO time, like the NWO contributed to that idea of being the cool heels that everyone cheered for. They were doing very bad things, but everyone wanted to cheer for them for some reason, And so, his impact on wrestling is undeniable. And as I kind of explained to my father over the weekend, because we were talking about, Hogan passed away, and I said to him, I said, unfortunately, because he didn't watch the debut Netflix episode for WWE on Netflix, with Raw and everything, and I said, sadly, I told him when Hogan appeared on that debut episode, he was booed.
Yeah.
Because people, for one reason or another, didn't agree with his politics, didn't agree with the fact that, he's unfortunately made some, racist statements, that people react to that. Mm-hmm. And is there a place where you can separate out the entertainer from the human? In some cases, yes. I think in some cases, no. Like we, last episode, our Week in Geek, I talked about that 70s show. It's that is a problematic show in some ways because of one of the stars of it. But, different from the Cosby Show, that star wasn't the core point of that show. Whereas the Cosby Show, the core star of that show has kind of a major problem, that it's hard to separate from.
There's also, it's not just Danny Masterson. There was a couple of other people on that show who kind of had some weird stuff going on. Topher Grace is kind of the one who comes out, like, because before he was kind of the one who was like, everyone's like, oh, he's standoffish and this and that. And they're like, yeah, that might have been, there might have been a good reason for that. He was like, yeah, y'all are weird. I'm just going to kind of keep my distance. I'll do my job.
Yeah.
Because then you end up with Ashton Kutcher and, Mila
Kunis.
And, like, hey, we're this and that. And then we're going to write in support of Danny Masterson. And oops, we shouldn't have done that. Yep. There's some weird stuff there. But anyways.
But you follow my point. Like Bill Cosby and all the crap, all the baggage that he carries with, making the Cosby Show problematic nowadays.
Yeah.
Versus, something like a Danny Masterson sort of thing where he's part of the show, but not the show. You know what I mean?
True. But yeah.
And Hogan is, he's problematic as well because he was in a lot of ways the show, and it's hard. I think.
Well, you don't get to. It's like the quarterback thing. Like you don't get to claim all the credit if you don't take all the blame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, there's a complicated background to him. But it's undeniable that from I hate to limit it to this, but if you take it from for me, for my childhood and for my, teen years and, college years, you and I were living together in an apartment when, the NWO was huge, when WCW, when the Monday Night Wars were going on, and we were watching, we were literally flipping between WCW and Raw every Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
But Hogan had an impact, and
enormous,
and it's undeniable. That without that charismatic, without that character of who he was, a lot of things in professional wrestling don't happen. Like I'll be honest. I think Bill Goldberg owes a lot to the the character of Hulk Hogan, of Hollywood Hogan, because it is his world title win in Atlanta, Georgia, with 40,000 people watching on live TV on Monday night, that cements him as a massive superstar. Hogan, he just had that effect on the wrestling industry. Personally, had some things that, I'm not thrilled with and don't agree with, but at the same time, can't deny the impact the man had on the industry that is now thriving today. So, so I I'm not going to sit here and toast the man because there's some things I don't agree with, but at the same time, have to acknowledge the fact that he launched an era of wrestling that made it mainstream in terms of our culture, and continued that into the 90s with, again, with that college generation, that young adult generation that maybe followed him in the 80s and wanted to see him in that cool heel role in the 90s. And then in the 2000s, again, we saw that crossover with him and The Rock, that passing of the torch from one icon to another. And so,
How many times has Hogan passed the torch? Like,
it's been a couple times.
Yeah.
He passed the torch to Bret Hart, passed the torch to Yokozuna.
I mean, let's be fair here. He begrudgingly most times it wasn't so much a passing of the torch as it was pulled from his hands.
Yes.
But the fact is, like, the dude's, whatever torch you want to put on, however you want to describe it, his fingerprints are all over it, which is why for me, it's like, I understand the Babe Ruth analogy, and I think it's a good one. However, for me, because I can't claim to be as schooled in wrestling as you, or an Uncle Corny who is more schooled than most anybody on this planet, and probably unhealthily to a degree. To me, he's much more of a Pete Rose of wrestling.
I think that's fair,
because his greatness to me. Let's put this: his impact cannot be denied nor hidden, nor should it be. I've maintained for a long time that Pete Rose not in the Hall of Fame is a travesty. Not because I like Pete Rose or think that, oh, well, whatever, it's not that. It's somebody had all those hits.
Yeah.
That needs to be recognized. That accomplishment happened. It's reality. Somebody made all those hits. Just pretending that it's just like this outline avatar of an anonymous figure is bullshit.
Yeah.
It was a person. Acknowledge the person who did it because they accomplished this thing, and then also acknowledge this person was incredibly stupid.
Yep.
Because they did something that they, throughout their entirety of their career, was posted in every locker room they were in. Don't do this thing. And they did it. Put both sides there. Recognize the accomplishment. Fine. You don't want, like, Pete Rose, the individual, as a Hall of Famer. Fine. But you should at least acknowledge the fact that, hey, the all-time leader in hits in baseball history is Pete Rose. Otherwise, it's like, well, it's just somebody. No, it's not. They have a name. They were also an idiot. Like, you can have both of those things. And in the same way, you can acknowledge the accomplishments of Hulk Hogan while also saying racism is bullshit. Like, that is stupid. That is wrong. And Chelsea Green took a bunch of hits on this on Twitter, and I applaud her for coming back with, like, hey, I acknowledge the impact this dude has, but hey, I will always 100% stand up and say racism is wrong. Period. Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah.
And you know what? To hell with those idiots who are like, oh, you're saying bad things about guy I like. Screw it. Like, the only WWF/WWE event I have been to so far was when I was a kid, and I got to go see Hulk Hogan, and that was the reason I wanted to go to the event. It was Hulk Hogan versus Big Boss Man for the WWF Championship, and we all know it was a house show. And that title ain't going nowhere. But I got to see him live just down the street from where I live now in Portland at the Cumberland County Civic Center, and it was a huge thing for me. I pestered my dad into buying me a Hulk Rules tank top, and I had it for ages. I kind of still wish I had it.
You in the tank tops, for crying out loud. You got to show those guns.
Oh yeah, it was. But it was like I was there. I was in that mode. Like, yeah, I was part of the people, the kids who grew up watching Hulk Hogan. But yeah, that the dude also had some unsavory parts of his personality that are just wrong. But you can't just say, like, oh, well, it never happened. No, somebody drew all that money. Somebody main evented all those things. Somebody was part of all this. It's complicated, but damn.
It is, and you can't help but wonder or think, with some of those bad things going on when he was at the apex of his career, and it's I think what you said is right on. It's complicated.
Yeah.
So
You
we,
are worse than Hulk Hogan.
you know, there could be worse things than Hulk Hogan. Absolutely. So,
But therefore,
all right,
we have it.
I'm going to take the gold off. You know, part of the other thing is I think Hogan just, you know, loved how these belts looked and couldn't let them go.
You're like your shoulders sinking. I regret to do it now, but I'm going to have to take a 30-second time out here. We've talked about Hulk Hogan for almost 35, 40 minutes.
Sweet Moses.
I need a bathroom break, so we'll be right back.
A few moments later.
All right. Well, after a in memoriam on Hulk Hogan and his impact, let us move on to what is upon us this weekend. This August. First of all, I can't believe we're in frickin' August already.
And you know, the weird thing is, with the way my summer has gone, like I'm at a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's August. I'm like, holy crap! It feels like it's taken 6 months to get to August. It's this weirdest thing for me right now.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, how is it the end of May and now it's August already? Like it feels like June just flew by and now July has flown by, and it's like, holy crap. Sweet Moses. But we do have SummerSlam upon us, August, I believe, 2nd and 3rd, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
From MetLife Arena, is that in MetLife Stadium in
that is in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
I believe exit 16B off of I forget, because I remember Bob Ryan used to refer to the New York Jets as he refused to refer to them as the New York Jets. He referred to them as the exit 16B or whatever exit they were off the Jersey Turnpike.
Yes.
I always love that.
But the man they call Tim will be front and center, focused, watching Saturday night and Sunday night.
I thought you were going to be there. I was like, you son of a bitch! You didn't get me a ticket.
No, I would never go without you, my friend. No, I'm watching on the PLE on Peacock.
I wonder, are there tickets available?
Like the other plebeians. Dude, if there were tickets available, they'd be $20,000 a pop probably. So,
well, the funny thing is,
sassy molasses.
I saw some stupid ass article where they're like, WWE in trouble, unsold tickets for blah blah blah, and they're like, it was like out of 40,000 tickets, they're like only 36,000 are sold. I'm like, so like 80% to like, no, it's not even 80, it's like 90% capacity is like.
You got Yahoos like me buying belts like this. I think they're doing okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, Triple H is not worried about how he's going to fill the vending machines at Titan Towers.
Sweet Moses. All right. Well, we have, as much as we, on Wednesday, Week in Geek Wednesday, adjudicated the Real and the Jabroni for Fantastic Four, we, again, have upon us yet another event that we need to perform some picks upon, and we will adjudicate. At a future date, really next week, which is, and I want to ask,
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Yes.
Absolutely. And Uncle Todd, I want to ask you, did you appreciate my title, Hot Time in the Summertime?
I do. I didn't catch that until I was about ready to do the intro, and I was
thought of you, my brother.
In the Family Stone, like, hot fun in the summertime. Just another example of how Sly was a fracking musical genius. Like, that is such an old school kind of doo-wop sort of feel to it, and he pulls it off, man. It's so great. Oh,
but as Uncle Todd has pointed out at the intro of this episode, this is the first year, the inaugural year, that SummerSlam will not be un night; it will be dos night.
Okay, Penta, thank you.
Thank you. Well, or El Grande Americano, whichever way you want to look at that one.
Let's go with Penta, please.
All right. Well, we're going to do a free-range idiocy SummerSlam preview where we will make our picks, and we will also make a few side bets as well, because, it isn't professional wrestling if there isn't some chicanery, ballyhoo, and shenanigans afoot.
Exactly.
That is essentially what our side bets are. So, for night number one.
Full disclosure.
Yes, sir.
I have watched almost zero TV.
Okay.
Since the last PLE. So I'm going to rely on you as, once again, sir, as my professional wrestling Sherpa when we hit questionable moments here to help me out and fill in some blanks, because I've wanted to watch and I just haven't.
I got to equip myself to be the Sherpa here.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Actually, I can't really hear you that well, so that's perfect.
It's already 10 degrees hotter in here.
I didn't realize I had sweat glands on the inside of my nose.
Sweet Moses. All right.
What is it with you and Sweet Moses? Like, is that the name of a candy bar or something?
No, it is an expression that is not offending to anyone. So.
Okay. Well, I've heard someone use Sweet Fancy Moses, which I was always like, that just
which
seems...
I would question that. What is the fancy for? Just Sweet Moses. What do you need the fancy in there for?
Apparently, that's like a Moses wearing like a tunic with some extra tassels. I don't know.
So you're saying he's a fan of the Rockers?
Perhaps.
All right. Let's get into it. Night number 1. And, of course, the scoring for this will be 2 points for a correct winner, 1 point for the closest to a predicted star rating. And only one person will get awarded the closest to the predicted star rating.
Yes.
And we will also do some side bets as we go through the night.
We have the most convoluted friggin' scoring system of all time. It really, like, neither one of us even know how it works.
It's beautiful. All right. So for night number 1, the matches are laid out thusly. This is based on several sources, CBS Online, as well as Wikipedia. And 6
matches. Like, this diverts from the 5-match formula.
It does. All right. The first match, I'm kind of assuming this will be kind of the opener, is Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. So I can go ahead and pick first if you'd like, or if you would like, sir.
How about you go first on this one? Let me wade in slow into the kitty end here.
All right. So I'm actually going to go Karrion Kross on this one. I believe based on the fact that Sami defeated Karrion Kross at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, that this is Kross's time to shine. Sami is also nursing, storyline wise, is nursing the ribs, which Kross has attacked quite a few times with the metal pipe. And I'm sure we're going to see Scarlett probably produce that pipe and Karrion use it to knock one Sami Zayn out. So I'm going to say Karrion Kross on this one. My star rating, though, I don't have, again, at Night of Champions, and maybe it was just the environment, I gave that one a 4.0 rating because it was just, it was a really well put together match. This one here, I'm going to go 3.25. I don't think it's going to be knock my socks off.
Even with Scarlett producing the pipe?
Even with Scarlett producing the pipe. How about you, sir? What is your call on this one?
I think you're right. I think it's, well, let's put it this way. If you're not right, then I think they just need to let Karrion Kross go on his merry way, because if you don't allow him to win one of these, because everyone he's been trying to mess with has just thoroughly defeated him and then moved on. So if he doesn't get the better of one of these people at some point, there better be a really good reason why, and I can't really see what that might be. So I'm going to go with Karrion Kross. You going to go with Larry Cross? Like who?
Sorry, I typed the wrong letter.
Wow, you
give me some grace.
I'm just watching this in real time, going, yeah.
All right, what's your star rating? Enough of the critique on the typing.
The 122 proof bourbon might not have been a great call.
You know what? Franklin was left behind with Dr. Doom, and that's what it's going to be.
I'm not going to discuss this further.
What is your star rating for this match, sir?
I'm going to go 3.5.
Aha.
I was very tempted to go with 3.25, but I'm gonna risk it. No risk it, no biscuit.
All right. Next match. Again, I don't know if this is the.
We got a tag match.
We have a tag match. I don't know if this is going to be the order, so we're just going to have to adjust as we go here. But
Lord,
the
vapors.
Oh, the vapors, ladies and gentlemen, the vapors appear. WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez against the friends that are not friends, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I got to be honest, I haven't watched a lot of SmackDown. I haven't watched a lot of the progression of the Bliss-Flair pairing here. But I love the idea of them just being like, no, we're not friends, but we're hanging out together. It's like maybe this is what we need for Flair. We need to kind of break the ice somehow and get her more relatable. And so I'm liking the sort of idea here.
I've only seen a couple of like Instagram videos of them, and it seems like it's almost kind of behind the scenes sort of stuff. And
what are you thinking here? What are you thinking? What are you feeling from the vapors?
Well, first of all, I'm feeling like, number one, WWE needs to get a little more locked in on when they do these debuts, because it always seems like there's a debut and then a course correction. At some point, you just need to admit, like, we're doing a really crap job at this, and let's like actually do the course correction thing before we actually debut things. Because I get this. Like, put Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair and let some kind of goofy things happen and all. And like, I think that's a great idea. It would have been nice to have this idea 3 months ago. In this case, I don't know the exact history of this feud. However, Raquel and Roxanne have had this championship for a little while. It would make sense to then let Bliss and Flair get this and add a new wrinkle to this, because what's the money in Raquel and Roxanne hanging on to this, really? Are they that dominant? Are they that over? No. I think that this could be a kind of a new thing. This could almost be like on a much smaller scale, a rock and sock kind of connection sort of thing, the odd couple sort of deal. So yeah, I'm going to go with Bliss and Flair. The problem
rating?
This is the problem I have here. I don't know that Flair and Rodriguez, I just don't know how they're going to do in this. You know, like Rodriguez had a really good match with Rhea Ripley. Of course, Rhea Ripley could have a really good match with me with zero training. She could make it look good. That's just who she is. I'm going to go with 3 stars to be a little cautious.
Okay.
Just because I feel like those two could bring it down. I think Bliss and Perez could fracking go. I think it'll be above average. I don't know how much more above average. You, sir.
I'm going to go Bliss and Flair, but I'm going to go 3 1/4. I'm going to see you and raise you.
All right. And I feel like that's a fairly good raise. Like,
yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
They got to let this Flair Bliss thing simmer.
I hope they do.
Until we get to WrestleMania, and then we have the big blow off between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, and then that will mean something because there's a story behind it.
Yeah, like I feel like just in what I've seen, and granted, I haven't seen the TV. I've just seen little clips here and there. I do appreciate like just the weirdness of the pairing. I think there's something to that. If just like let it go, let it kind of naturally progress, and I think you got something there. I think this could totally be and good God, I mean, number one, if you can rehab Charlotte Flair from the purgatory she's been in, people already love Alexa Bliss. Like, this could be a great match.
It could. All right. Next match. Again, don't know if this is the order, but we're just kind of laying it out this way. WWE Women's Championship. The champion, El Champion, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade the Storm Cargill. Is Tiffy time finally up? And is it time for the Storm to reign supreme?
Well, I went first. You go first in this one.
I'm honestly going to go with Jade Cargill on this one. I think this is the time that she is crowned. However, saying all of that, I have reservations about the quality of said match, and I think it'll be above average. But I'm going to put this one at probably about 3. I'm going to go 3 stars on this one.
Okay. I'm kind of curious, what is your reasoning for going with Jade Cargill? I mean, aside from the fact that it feels like they've been trying to get her to this point, like they look at her and they're like, she is money. Like, what is your reasoning here?
I'm wondering if they're going to use SummerSlam as the time to give her the ball to see if she can run with it and sustain it. And the alternative is if Tiffany wins, then who is her next opponent? Because she has overcome a number of competent opponents. There's a built-in story for Jade with Naomi and with Bianca. And so that's where I see things kind of going, is that Jade gets the belt and then does, some angle and defenses against both, potentially against Bianca for a period of time. Maybe this is where Bianca turns heel because of, jealousy of the new young up and comer. Now Naomi, I guess in a way, is kind of on Raw now as the women's world champion, but does she have a short title reign, and does she end up upending, Jade's title run at some point, as part of their feud? I'm kind of curious about that. So I kind of think there's more storyline potential with Jade winning, because I'm not entirely sure where Tiffany goes if she wins. So that's really why I'm going with her. I think, from a storyline perspective, there's a little more legs with Jade than there is with Tiffany.
So I'm going to go with Jade as well.
Okay.
And put me down for 3.5 stars on this one, because I feel like this might be. I feel like there is potential for a really good match here.
Okay.
And I feel like there could be potential for really good chemistry. And I'm going to go with this because I feel like this might not be a very long reign for Jade. I think this is more about, it's about Jade, of course, because I think that WWE looks at Jade Cargill and they're like, my God, if we can't draw money with her, like, what the hell are we doing? But also at the same time, look at friggin', Tiffany Stratton.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't draw money with Tiffany Stratton, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, she is, I mean, okay, let's go through because the things you have to go through with female wrestlers, because this is still the game we're playing. She's gorgeous. She's very attractive, all those things. She's also athletic as hell. She is one of those people who makes every damn move look really good. Like, in some ways effortless.
Yep.
She's also strong as hell. She is not just like a finesse sort of thing. Like, that is a strong ass woman right there. Like, they don't build it up the same as they do with like Bianca and Jade, but that woman could easily outlift me if you just want to go to the gym, and could also twist me into freaking pretzels. Granted, I'm almost 50, so I mean, it's not saying much, but I don't want to be one of those old guys who's like, I could take her. Like, no, you couldn't. You'd bust a hip. I think this is a combo platter. I think it's about seeing, like you said, seeing if Jade can run with the ball for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it's also about giving Tiffany a good foil, and then letting Tiffany chase a little bit.
Yep.
And seeing what she can do with that, and in a way letting these two kind of make each other.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you need to drag Bianca into this, like, right now. Like, I
don't think Bianca's going to get involved.
Oh yeah, but
in the match.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a natural progression if Cargill wins.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's more about, in my opinion, and what I would like to see more. This seems to be a very weird thing going on in WWE. Like, no return matches, man. Like, why are like, someone gets beat? Like, why the hell wouldn't it be like, hey, you screwed me, or you got lucky, or whatever? Like, I want a rematch. Why is it like it just now everyone just goes away? Like, that didn't mean anything. I feel like the money is in these two going back and forth and making each other. Because I think there's totally money to be made with Jade Cargill. I'm not exactly sold on her promo skills, but as far as, like, good God, she's got the look. she has a striking presence.
She's got the look.
And you know what? That's a damn good song too.
It is a good song. All right.
Roxette doesn't get nearly enough credit.
Should we move
these days.
on?
Yes.
All right.
I think we.
Sorry to interrupt, but I don't have a
No.
soundboard to interrupt you. But
you need like a flag or something.
your point is well taken, sir. Moving along, this one's probably gonna be an easy one to call because it involves a celebrity. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre. We think he's held up in the UK right now on travel restrictions, so we're not sure if he's going to make it.
What happened?
Apparently, he doesn't have his passport with him, and WWE is working on a way to get him into the States. He's in the
How
UK.
in the hell did that happen?
I don't know.
How did you get back home without a passport? Were they just like, oh, it's Drew, let him in?
Apparently, he has a picture on his phone of his passport, but he doesn't have the passport. So I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly.
This will be very interesting. You know what? It would actually be more interesting if it was Randy Orton, Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul in a handicap match.
That would actually just have him beat Logan Paul's ass. Everyone would love it.
Well, but the thing is, like, watching Logan Paul just get the snot beat out of him, but then pull out these incredible moves.
Yeah.
Or
I could see it.
Or say his name and he appears. Does Joe Hendry come back for some revenge?
I believe in Joe Hendry
on Randy Orton.
Amen and amen.
It'd be the first ever face, heel face.
It's going to be like this decade's, like where Kane and Pete Rose had their feud. It's going to be like Randy Orton and Joe Hendry is going to be the feud of the 2020s.
Does Joe Hendry come out as dressed up as a San Diego chicken?
Quite possibly. What is your prediction for the victors on this one?
I have a feeling Randy Orton and Jelly Roll go over in this, and I hate this in many, many ways, but I get it. It's just
I'm going to say Orton and Roll. What's your? I'm not even going to write Jelly. I'm just going to write Orton and Roll.
I love me a good Orton Roll. It's
you can't have an Orton without a Roll. What is your
got
star?
That snake venom in there.
Star prediction on this one, sir.
Oh, good God! I'm going to go 275, and I think that's going to be generous.
That is generous.
Yeah.
All right.
How about you, sir?
I have found celebrities to surprise us at times, and I have read that Jelly Roll has been very dedicated in the Performance Center. So I'm going to actually go 3 stars on
apparently, Heyman referred to his promo as like he's a natural, which I'm like, yeah, and Heyman's also a professional bullshitter. So
well, fair enough.
All
right, next match. A pseudo bloodline match here. The OTC 1, which, if you're the original tribal chief, isn't that implicit that you are the first? But nonetheless, Roman Reigns and main event Jey Uso, yeet, versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
In a you stole my shoes, you son of a bitch grudge match. I saw that. I was like, this okay. I mean, whatever.
Sure.
You're going first on this one.
I think I'm going to go first on this one. It's kind of funny. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be Breaker and Reed, I think.
I mean, with Seth being where Seth is at this point, like, do you just start pulling the trigger on Breaker?
Maybe. I'm going to go 375 on this one. I don't think it's going to be 4-0, but I think it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be an interesting match. So, what about you?
Even though I said it, like, I kind of feel like this might be the move to try and put Breaker and Bronson over. And let's face it, we're trying to put Breaker over. That's where we're heading.
Bronson is the fall guy. No doubt.
Well, no, Bronson is riding his ass on Breaker's coattails, and it's a good thing that Breaker can run at 25 miles per hour because, Bronson's a big ass dude to have on your coattails. But there's also part of me that's like, I know that, part of what happens when you've done good things. The business has done good things for you. You do good things for the business, and blah 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 blah. Do you really job out Reigns and Uso to Breaker and Reed? Because let me put this in perspective. Roman Reigns has the longest championship run of anybody in the modern era since Hulk Hogan. Jey Uso is one of the most rover individuals in the WWE since forever now, and a former world champion, a former intercontinental champion, against a former briefly held intercontinental champion and a dude who broke his ass on the War Games cage. I mean, as much as I feel like this is the moment, like I have this hesitation. And can you put my mind at ease here, sir? Like, do you think this is a long running feud, or is Roman Reigns and Jey Uso now at the point of being stepping stone to a Steiner?
I guess my thought process here is, if Breaker wins, does it set up a one-on-one between Reigns versus Breaker, Master of the Spear? And I don't mean to focus a lot on the Master of the Spear thing, but they both share the same finishing move. So does it lend itself to a follow-on match where Reigns and the only match that seems interesting to me is if Breaker wins. If Breaker loses, or if this team loses, it's like, what's the juice for seeing Reigns fight Breaker again?
Yeah, that. You know what? You convinced me. Thank you, as always, sir, for being the voice of reason. Except when we're talking
I'm just
about
wear this over my shoulder because
when we're talking about Franklin Richards being left with Dr. Doom, in which case you're full of shit. But I'm going to go with Breaker and Reed here.
All right, book it.
I'm going to go with a 3.5 here because Roman Reigns is not a one-trick pony, but he's maybe a 1.5-trick pony. Jey Uso is a 1.5-trick pony, so you got 3 tricks there between the two of them. Braun Breaker is maybe a 2-trick pony, and Bronson Reed's maybe a 1.5-trick
God
pony.
damn, the Steiner math is coming back to haunt us again.
So you got... Now you made me lose count, but in all reality, Breaker and Reed have more tricks than Roman and Jey. So that's what I'm going to go with.
So what's the star rating at the end of the day?
I went with a 3.5.
All right. I like how neither of us is willing to go into the 4-0 territory on this one, and rightfully so.
I almost dropped an F-bomb there. Hell no. Hell no.
All right, our main event for night number 1 for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Completing CM Punk's dream of always main eventing night 1 of SummerSlam in New Jersey.
And I'm sorry, but this World Heavyweight Championship is way more impressive than the current one in my book. World Heavyweight Championship, the reigning, defending heavyweight champion Gunther.
Wait a minute.
Takes on.
This is the World Championship that is based off of that belt, right?
It is, but I think this one's more impressive.
I've
held the other belt. My kid's friend has the other belt, and I feel this is the more impressive version.
I get you, and I respect that belt and its place in history.
Not just because it goes around my waist, but because of the fact
it's
that
mostly
it
because it goes around your waist. Let's just admit that.
Off.
Let's just admit that. I do like the new one better. I do. In terms of being a modern belt.
This one is like, I understand why Flair didn't want to give this up, or wanted it another 14 times, because good Lord Almighty, this is freaking impressive to look at.
It is, but it's old school, and I appreciate it about it. But I like the mixture of old school and new school with the new one. All right, so we got Gunther versus CM Punk.
Wait. Versus Charles Montgomery Punk.
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen.
Pardon me, sir. I apologize. So what does that make Gunther? Because Gunther doesn't even have a last name. He's like Cher.
Gunther's always just a one-word person.
Do you
either Walter or he's Gunther.
Whenever I hear Walter, all I hear is Tommy Heinsohn. I love Walter. Which, damn it, I loved me some Walter McCarty back in the day, too.
All right. I think I chose the last one first. What is your pick going to be on this one, sir?
This is tough because in my heart, I want CM Punk to win. Like as a total mark move, I want Punk to win. I want to see him have a 5-star classic with Gunther and come out on top and just be able to say, I'm old and I work with children and I'm the champion. I so want that. But is this the moment that you do that? And is it going to, I mean, we've already seen Gunther kind of like his place in this company kind of get herkled and jerkled around a bunch. Can Gunther's aura survive losing this? Or in actuality, does him having to chase Punk end up building Gunther back up? I'm having a very tough time talking myself into either of these. But damn it, I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to say CM Punk wins, Gunther gets a chase, and ultimately we see Gunther win the championship back. And we'll see all that down the road. But I'm going to go with Gunther, Punk. Let's give this 4.25. Because if these two can't get a 4+ star match, I mean, good Lord, the world is hopeless at this point, right?
Yes. I'm also going with CM Punk. I'm going to go 4.5 stars because I think it's going to be that damn good.
Okay, that's all we get because we're not ending the show. I don't really have any side bets because I feel like I mean, if you have any, maybe I'll play off of those, but I don't know enough about stuff that's been going on. Like, I don't know the actual, like, nitty-gritty of the backstage-ness and all that.
All right, I'll explain mine, but I know you're going to piggyback on it. One of the prevailing theories is that and this is based on an interview that Heyman gave not too long ago. It was after Saturday Night's Main Event, where he talks about how, of course, WWE is going to use the media in its storylines to, the media is now part of, kind of our whole thing. There is a prevailing theory that Punk will beat Gunther and Seth Rollins will walk the aisle and cash in Money in the Bank and beat Punk, because Punk, of course, will be exhausted, beaten, whatever. He will squeak out a victory from Gunther, and Rollins will walk the aisle and cash in Money in the Bank and become the World Heavyweight Champion. That is my side bet at SummerSlam night number 1, is that, unfortunately, for my man, the guy who I love to root for, but understand from a storyline perspective that this could be a very compelling part of their story.
Oh, son of a bitch, that's good.
Is have Rollins cash in after selling what we thought to be a long-term leg injury, and end up finding out on Raw the next night or 2 nights from that point that he faked the entire thing because he wanted to lure Punk in. Because, again, keep in mind, Braun Breaker. Now, you didn't see this on Raw probably because I know you said you haven't watched the shows.
Yeah,
Breaker was part of a what they call it, a run the gambit sort of match where you had 6 guys and it started out with 2, and whoever wins continues on and faces the next one, and then faces the next one and faces the next one.
Wait, that wasn't this past week. That wasn't this week.
This was 2 weeks ago on Raw.
I think I saw some of that.
Okay. Breaker survived everyone. Punk was the last guy. There is a story there that you could in theory say that Rollins told Breaker to take the dive to line up Punk to face Gunther, and if Punk won, Rollins would cash in on him. So there's a compelling story here that could happen potentially.
Damn it, I'll take some of that action.
God dang it.
No, I'm doing. Oh, that would be so good. That'd be so good.
All right.
I can't not get in on that.
I've signed you up for it.
Oh.
Now, of the remaining matches on night one, I agree with you. I don't really see a lot of possibility for side bet action to really happen.
I'm going to go with one.
Sorry?
I'm going to go with one. Drew McIntyre is replaced.
Okay.
Last minute. Or it's a Drew McIntyre is replaced
by
it's
whom?
A handicap match. Anyone. I don't care.
So he isn't replaced or he is replaced?
No, let's go with no, he is replaced. Let's just go with Drew McIntyre is replaced because of passport problems.
By El Grande Americano.
Oh my gosh. But only if they bring in someone who is obviously no one like Chad Gable. Like if they
right now Ludwig Kaiser is playing El Grande Americano.
I want like Devon Dudley. Like I want to go so far over the top that it's like not like
Uncle Todd wants to go beyond the pale is what he said.
That is the lengths I want them to go with this. Like I want them to be like anyone can be El Grande. How could you he went to the beach. Like I just want him to go so far with this. Like because the thing is like if you don't make it ridiculous, it is I get like the whole thing of like you're disrespecting luchadors and all that. And I somewhat agree. If you don't take it to a point, but if you take it to a point of ridiculousness, then everyone realizes like, oh, you're screwing with everybody. It's like the Mel Brooks thing in Blazing Saddles. Like you just take it to such an extreme that you're messing with everybody in the world. Speaking of which, dude, apparently that AAA pay-per-view or where they had where Penta showed up.
Yeah.
Have you seen the friggin' like gear he was wearing with like the fracking headpiece and everything?
Yeah, I saw something where he entered with his daughter, I think.
I didn't see all that. I just saw like him in the ring with like the friggin' like it was like 4 feet of oh my gosh. Oh, amazing. Like we need to see Penta doing the Penta walk with that thing. Oh, anyways, I'll have to go back and watch because if he did come in with
so that's fine. I've written down your side bet is Drew McIntyre is replaced by El Grande.
It's not. Drew McIntyre is replaced because of passport issues.
Okay.
It's not El Grande. I don't know if it'll be El Grande. That would be funny, but still.
All right. I am going to go with Drew McIntyre is replaced by El Grande Americano.
You go right ahead.
I'm going to go with that one. Drew McIntyre.
I don't know who you'd be replaced. I actually think the money would be if it was a handicap match because it really would be like 1.5 wrestlers against one. It wouldn't be too.
I'm going to go with another side bet that we are going to have Liv Morgan return to screw Roxanne Perez over and give Bliss and Flair the victory.
So what was the injury with Liv?
So she in the context of the match that she was in, she got slammed down by Kairi Sane, and apparently something happened, I think, to her shoulder that caused her to be out for a period of time. What I am side betting here is that she will make an appearance and cost Perez and Rodriguez the tag titles.
It's tempting, but I'm not going to bite on that one.
That's okay. Don't bite on it. It is my side bet that I want to run with. So
yeah.
All right.
Let me see who else we got here.
There you go. So Randy Orton Jelly Roll. We already talked about Drew McIntyre. I don't see anything really happening with Reigns, Uso, Breaker, and Reed.
Not unless Jimmy interferes. But I can't see that. Like he hasn't been part of this. So I'm good on my side.
And Gunther and CM Punk, the only interference I see happening is around Rollins. So
would there be anything with Cross? Like
with Punk?
No, I mean with Sami Zayn and Cross.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
Unless you want to call that Cross is going to use the pipe on Zayn to win.
No, I mean, but that's like I'm talking about. Yeah, and actually, I will say this: the fact that we don't have a ton of side bets, or in the past, our side bets have not. Here we go. Right, another one. That our side bets have not exactly come to fruition. I feel is actually kind of a nice, a nice turn of events with the Paul Levesque era.
Yes.
That we don't get
clean.
on the same show like 3 BS, BS finishes and stuff like that. Like there is a lot of clean finishes, and when something is kind of like a interference, like it feels like it means a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I feel like on the PLEs, like they very rarely go to that. Like and I respect that. I feel like it does lend to kind of the PLEs still maintaining a big fight feel, even though you don't have to go in, like calling your cable company, like, yeah, I want to spend $19.95 on blah blah blah, that sort of thing. What else we got here?
I'm actually putting a side bit in that Scarlett produces the metal pipe that allows Cross to win.
So Scarlett producing the pipe, eh?
Scarlett and the pipe.
All right, let's go with that. I'll throw in on that because that could happen. I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be a clean finish, but it could happen.
All right. Night number 2. Let's get into it. On SmackDown, it was a car wreck, and it was called by GM Nick Aldis. WWE Tag Team Championship is on the line.
Crap.
That's right. In a TLC match, Wyatt 6, who are the reigning defending champions, versus DIY, versus Street Profits, versus Fraxum, versus Motor City Machine Guns, versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. What do you say, sir? Who's going to win?
I don't even know how to score this friggin' thing.
The star rating is at least a 4-0. I'm sorry. With this group, it's going to be a 4-0.
Well, it's a 4-0 if everybody lives. Like, dear sweet God.
You want me to pick this one?
Yeah, start me off on this, please.
I haven't watched a lot of SmackDown, but I have a very soft spot for the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yes.
So I'm going to pick them to win.
I only wonder with that, like, it seems like there's a lot of, like, after leaving the Wyatt 6 out to dry for a long time, it feels like there's I'm noticing a lot more mentions of them on social media and stuff, which I'm wondering how much of that is like paid mentions. I feel like there's more there.
Could be.
I love me some Motor City Machine Guns in the limited times I've seen them. By the way, the last time the WWE men's tag team championship was defended on a PLE was the Royal Rumble.
That's a damn shame.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous, dude. And that was Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY. I'm looking forward to this because wait a minute, I can't remember who Fraxium is. But aside from them, like, all of these teams are intriguing to me. Love me some DIY.
And there is a theory that Andrade will get knocked out for Penta to substitute in and pair up with his brother Rey Fenix in this match.
I think it's too early on that. Like, they're still pushing him as a singles. Like there's a lot more mileage you can get out of this.
I agree.
I feel like it's a little weird to push Rey into tag match at this point because they seemed like they were ready to push him too.
But given how hot Penta is, it's very weird that Penta is not in SummerSlam at all.
He's not in anywhere? Oh my gosh, he isn't.
No.
Well, but then again, he just worked the pay-per-view.
Like night 2 is literally Night of Champions, basically. Like, look at all these matches. They're all championship matches.
Yeesh.
It's a murderer's row.
Ugh. Maybe you're right. Anyways, that would suck for Andrade because honestly, Andrade and Rey Fenix, like that's a friggin' team I would watch. Are you kidding me? I love me some Andrade.
Is that your pick?
Come
on.
No, I don't think they have a chance in hell.
Balls to the wall. Let's go.
I think it's either. Oh my gosh, dude. We're getting a little familiar here. I think it's going to be the Machine Guns, or I think Wyatt 6 could retain because I feel like they're kind of getting the push. I'm going to go with Wyatt 6.
All right.
And I'm going to go with this I'm just going to go straight up 4 stars because I think here's the thing. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a minute, is there 7 teams here or am I hallucinating? 1, 2, 3, 6. No. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, it's
4,
6.
5, Okay, yeah, I'm counting Motor City and then Machine Guns.
Uncle Todd and the Maths, ladies and gentlemen.
But I mean, so if you had a 6-way ladder match, that's a fracas.
Fraxum?
You've got freaking 12 people involved in this. Like, this is so much. This isn't a car wreck anymore. This is a demolition derby.
Yep.
And it's a demolition derby where they had a kegger beforehand. You know what? Actually, no, I'm going to keep it at 4. Okay. Onward and upward.
All right. Again, don't know if this is the order, but next match in our list is for the Intercontinental Championship, the reigning defending champion, one Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. I picked first on this one. Sir, what are you going with on this?
The matchup of two guys who have appeared on other people's pay-per-views lately. AJ Styles making his TNA return at Slammiversary, and then Dominic showing back up at again, the aforementioned AAA pay-per-view.
And being booked in a 4-way for their top title at the next PLE for
and got a gigantic pop for a run-in and beating the hell out of somebody. Takes off the hoodie that is now like the standard costume of like, well, we can't let you know who it is. Takes off the hoodie. He's got the IC belt under it. I was like, way to go, you brilliant son of a bitch, you. I feel like, in a way...
can I throw one more data point in?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Last night on Raw, AJ Styles and the Kabuki Warriors defeated the Judgment Day, which was Dominic, Raquel, and Roxanne Perez in a 6-man tag match.
I got
where AJ Styles pinned Dominic.
I got to watch that because that would be real. That must have been fun. That must have been fun.
Oh, it was. There was a spot where Kairi Sane literally ran off the ropes and AJ Styles vaulted her up over the opposite ropes outside of the ring to nail Raquel Rodriguez.
Dude, if AJ Styles does not win the TNA championship before he retires just one more time, what are we even doing here?
I don't know.
So for that reason, AJ Styles pins Dom. He's not winning here. I think Dominic continues. So let's give it to Dirty Dom. So here's the thing. Like, I'm not totally sold on Dom's work. So the star rating is kind of tough for me because I find his work a little bit lackadaisical, mediocre. Like I don't know. I wish I could describe it. Like,
give me a rating. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
You can do it.
Excuse me. Dr. Doom is coming in to feed my cat.
Are you saying you left your cat behind for Dr. Doom?
I did not leave my cat behind. He's right there. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go frack it. I'm going to go 3 3/4, 3.75 for this one.
350.
Yeah, though.
All right.
What about you, sir?
So, okay, by the rules of wrestling politics, when the babyface gets the pinfall ahead of the main of the PLE, the pay-per-view, I salute you, sir. The heel will, the opposite, the person who is pinned will end up going over. So I agree. Yeah. I think it's going to be Dominic as well in this one. As much as I want to see AJ Styles win, I think Styles is currently on a run where he is trying to solidify talent that is for the future, using his standing as the phenomenal one. I can see, as much as I want to see him beat Dominic, at the same time, I can see him trying to make Dominic by having a great match with him and losing by just a hair. To solidify Dominic as an up-and-coming talent, which would then feed into the fatal 4-way that he's about to go into for the AAA Mega Championship. The star rating I'm going to give this one, though, is 4.25. with AJ Styles and with Dominic. I don't know. I just see this being a great match, and I saw some hints of it on Monday night or last night with Raw. So I'm going to go 4.25 stars on this one.
All right, good enough.
All right, our next match, and this one is going to get settled, ladies and gentlemen, in a steel cage for the United States Championship.
Are we going with like the chain link steel cage, or are we going old school?
No, it is chain link. Hells yeah.
Oh no, I kind of want the old blue jungle gym.
Oh, come on.
Oh, because you slam somebody into that son bitch. The Samoans, you got to hit like some harder steel, not just like this. Like
it's an all Samoan affair with the reigning defending champion Solo Sikoa taking on the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu. I'm gonna go first on this one.
Yes.
I'm gonna say Jacob Fatu on this one. That's right.
All right.
I'm gonna go 375 on this one. I think this is gonna be one of the surprises of the evening.
It's gonna be a hard hitter for sure.
Yes.
What's your reasoning on this one? I'm just curious because Solo just won it. Jacob is over like Rover. Like, what is your kind of thoughts on the philosophy of booking here? Like, what is to be gained for either one of them in this?
I feel like if Jacob loses, though, where does that put him? You know what I mean? Like, he's supposed to be this killer, and if you now have the steel cage structure, and Solo comes out of it, I mean, I guess on the one hand, you could have Solo come out of it as, pardon the language, but as a chicken shit heel. Barely come out of it with the title. I could see that, I guess, in a way. But
do you think there's no way that they can still do, because it seems like even in a steel cage match now, like there is still the possibility of interference, even though that's the whole point of the cage.
Sure. 100%. Yeah. There's probably still that opportunity where
I feel like that's their out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, we did see when Damian Priest fought Drew McIntyre, he said Jesse Ventura off by walking out of the door because Ventura was like, "That's it, that's all there is to the match." He walks out the door,
even though it was previously announced.
Well, hell's yeah. You got me thinking now.
Well, because the thing is, like, I get like Jacob Fatu. You want to build him. Like I think he is. I don't even know how old he is at this point, but I think he is like the intermediate future. He's not like the long-term future because I think he's been around.
Right.
But I think, and not like Solo is like ancient.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like you need to have Solo keep this kind of thing simmering. Because if Jacob wins the title back, isn't that kind of like the blow off?
No, because then they're like 1-1, and then you would have the rubber match to kind of determine who is the best, because
True.
Solo's beat Fatu has beat Solo, and now what is, who's really the better man in the rubber match?
That's a good point.
But I'm as I'm reasoning through, what is the story for Jacob Fatu if he loses, though? And yes, there's the whole story of, okay, maybe Solo uses nefarious means through his MFT to thwart Jacob. But to me, that's not a compelling. I'm just talking about me. Maybe this is compelling to the larger populace who follows pro wrestling. But if Jacob loses because Solo's crew interferes, it just feels like a cop out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I'm like itching for another Solo Jacob match, because Solo's just going to bring his numbers, what's the compelling reason I want to see them fight again?
So the thing is here, I wonder, and it's tough to predict, because then you start going way far down the fantasy booking.
Mm-hmm.
Do we wind up with another round of Bloodline versus Bloodline? Because I mean, ultimately, is Roman Reigns really going to get into the main event and all that? And do you end up getting back to this, and then Fatu is now on the side of Jimmy J and Roman and blah 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 blah. And again, we can go so far down that we're booking for something that is not even under consideration. For me, I look at this as like, yeah, it's okay for Solo to be the chicken shit heel. He's already starting to kind of have that blustery personality and making fun of people, and we're getting more of the personality and all that. Yeah, it's okay for him to do that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because like, is there more juice in Solo holding the U.S. title for longer?
Because if this is done, like, I almost feel like this is kind of done. I don't, because Solo's already taken so many hits.
But where does Jacob go if he loses, though?
I feel like number one, the thing, it has to end with some sort of absolute interference that is like so over the top that it merits.
Is this a side bet?
I mean, it could wind up becoming one, but I mean, maybe this leads to a Hell in a Cell match. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if Solo wins, it's through some sort of bullshit chicanery, MFT interference, and that it merits that next match. That then, in a way, like, you make Jacob overcome that, but you also have built up Solo as this other, this guy who's willing to do all this stuff and blah blah blah.
Okay,
it just
I'm
feels
going
like
to change my pick to Solo.
Oh, look at you! I've talked you into like
you've talked me into Solo because maybe there's a little more.
I think there's more juice
road to travel if Solo remains champion, and maybe the MFT gets involved, even though it's a steel cage match.
And since you changed yours, I'm gonna match you on the star rating, because I feel like that's kind of like, that's the break point. I feel like that's almost like the top of this.
Yeah, because
I feel like the bullshit finish will end up pissing, even though I know it's coming. I feel like it will piss me off.
Yeah,
so I'll detract more for that.
Yep. Also, I put in a side bet saying that Solo wins with interference from his MFT. I added that to yours as a side bet. I assume you would be in on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next match is the Women's Intercontinental Championship. The reigning defending champion Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. I will give these stipulations for the match. It will be no disqualification, no count out to ensure a decisive winner. And if Lyra Valkyria loses, she will never be allowed to challenge for the Women's Intercontinental Championship again while Becky Lynch holds the title.
Okay, well,
what say you, sir?
My goodness, did that all come out on a scroll? My God, it should be like a. I feel like. So. On one hand, I want to say this has got to be the moment when Lyra, thank you,
Lyra.
It's not Lyra, it's Lyra.
Lyra.
It gets the win here because she's been chasing Becky for a while, and this would seem to be the natural point. However,
she has a built-in opponent in a heel Bailey.
Yes. However, I'm still wondering if, because people love them some Bailey, and also I'm a little bit I'm a little kind of biased on this one, because apparently for whatever reason, like, I get all of the Bailey admirers as suggestions on Instagram. It's weird, but it's a lot of like people who are like, "Oh my gosh, Bailey is gorgeous." And I'm not saying that Bailey is not a very lovely and beautiful woman. She is. She's also a badass and a wonderful professional. So, but there is that part of me that is like, are people really wanting Bailey to be a heel?
I think so.
And is there money in Lyra being a heel and then becoming the face, like, or kind of earning her bones as the heel? And the other point is then okay, if you drop it to Lyra, what is Becky going to do now? Because you've already got a fairly full docket at your championship level, and you've gotten away with her with Becky being at this level because you got the whole Lyra always looked up to her and all that thing. What, is she going to go after the U.S. title now? Like, what does Becky do after this? It's fairly crowded north of here, so there's part of me that says, like,
I think Bayley costs Becky the match.
I almost think, if anything, it's like if you're going to truly turn Bayley costs Lyra the match, and Becky remains.
Agreed. Bayley would definitely complete a heel turn if she costs Lyra the match.
But then again, with some of the lukewarm reaction to Lyra, is would that actually turn Bayley heel?
But Bayley costing Becky the match, I don't know what that would do for her from a face heel perspective, but I think it would be an interesting face off between the two of them.
I think Becky is going over.
Really?
Yes. I think if you're going to, and I think that you're right. I think Bayley probably is going to turn heel. I don't agree with it. I think the money is in Lyra being the heel and Bayley being the baby face, but they've been heading down this road, and it's tougher. It's tough to really make the argument that they're going to do it any other way because they've gone this far. I think and I'll put in a side bet, I think Bayley costs Lyra the match, and that's how we get the Becky Lynch win. Because again, like I don't know what I think you keep the belt on Becky for at least a little longer because there's more juice in the in the feud, and you're doing all this other stuff. But also, like, what the hell else are you going to have Becky do? Unless she goes away for a couple months after this.
Yeah.
There's no room at the top. And if you're not having Becky Lynch with a belt at this point, you're wasting money. And you're wasting her time.
Unless Becky is feuding with one of the other 4 horsewomen.
Maybe,
but Bayley is.
But even then, like, you're still trying to make Lyra. Like, as much as I love me some Bayley. I think Bayley is probably, at this point, she is the creme de la creme as far as like the people who have worked and been crowned and all that stuff. But her and Becky are not the future. You're trying to make Lyra. You're trying to make Tiffy. Mm-hmm. You're trying to make, Naomi is doing great, but ultimately, again, you're trying to make Jade. You're trying to make Bianca. You're trying to make these younger talents because they're the ones who are going to be around in 5-6 years. I don't think Becky Lynch is going to be around in 5 years. I don't think Bayley's going to be around in 5 years. So what are you doing to do that? So let's go with so we've got Becky Lynch. I'm going to go with a bullshit finish. I don't have high hopes for this one, so let's go with a 3 1/4. Let's call it that. And you're going, look at you going with someone else here. Say it to the world.
I'm going to go with 3.5 stars. I also have a side bet, though. I'm playing both sides of this. I'm playing Bayley turns heel and costs Lyra the match. Because, again, there's nothing to lose if I'm wrong on the side bet. If I'm right, I get +1.
Okay.
So I'm playing both sides of this. I'm playing Bayley costs Becky the match. I'm playing Bayley turns heel and costs Lyra the match.
So go ahead and put me down for Bayley costs Becky Lynch the match as well.
Okay. Are you also going to go with the other side of it?
You've already got that. You already got me down for that.
I do.
However, here's the thing. So then after that, give me another one. Bayley after Bayley costs Becky Lynch the match. Bayley costs Becky Lynch the match, then turns heel on Lyra immediately after.
Okay. You're
and
wrong.
Then she sets her wings on fire.
You're wrong. Just like you were wrong about Dr. Doom being with Franklin.
You know what? On that note, I'm going to go take a pee. So
Please
let's
do.
Take a 30-second break.
Please do.
12 seconds later.
All right, and now that we have discussed the Women's IC Championship, where are we heading to now, sir?
The next match is the reigning Women's World Champion, Naomi, in a triple threat match with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. And ladies and gentlemen, when Io Sky and Rhea Ripley are in a match, you should thank the wrestling gods that you're involved in said match, because it is going to be, in the words of Sheamus, a banger after banger after banger.
I was going to go with a Jim Ross slobber knocker.
Well, it could be a slobber knocker as well. But Io Sky, and now I haven't watched Evolution 2 yet, but from what I read, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley had a hell of a match. And really just, again, blew away the crowd with what they did. This one with Naomi is going to be incredible. She is recently crowned she is a recently crowned champion, having cashed in Money in the Bank and taken advantage of the fact that both Rhea and Io were beaten down in their match at Evolution 2. So the question is, does Naomi lose in this match? Do Io or Rhea come out victorious here, or does Naomi retain?
Can I go first on someone?
You can.
Much like Solo, I think Naomi has to retain here.
All right.
And I think it's, and I say that because I think Naomi is on a hell of a run here.
Yeah.
And honestly, Io and Rhea are over like Rover. They do not need the belt right now. Neither one of them. And Rhea, I mean, good God, I've sung Rhea Ripley's praises enough here that, like, my gosh, I've got the whole Rhea Ripley hymnal.
You're duly noted as a Rhea Ripley mark, my friend.
I am. Her and oh my gosh, if we get Katie Sackhoff and Rhea Ripley in a movie together, I would just apparently disappear into the
Uncle Todd would cease to exist if such a thing happened.
I would be a one-man rapture. It's just gone. And Io Sky, like, the thing is, like, I respect her work. There is a little bit of me that is like, she's good. I just don't quite understand, like, the groundswell of support. But it's like, hey, good on her that, she has managed to like get over like this. There is part of me that is just like, I don't quite understand, but hey, good on her. Like, she's obviously talented and she's working this thing. Neither one of them need the championship. Naomi is the one that needs a championship right now. And I could very much see this being another case of Rhea and Io kind of beat each other up to a point, and Naomi is involved enough, and then Naomi gets the advantageous, like the kind of scraps out a win at the end, on someone who's just tuckered out. That's how I think this needs to go, because I think this storyline kind of needs to continue for a while. I think there's more story to be told here. So let's give me Naomi. Let's give this 4 stars. There's a lot of talent involved here. This could be a lot of fun.
I am actually going to go against your conventional wisdom.
Okay.
I'm going to go with your gal, Rhea Ripley.
Okay. And what's your thinking here?
I just think it is, her pursuit of the Women's World Championship. I think it is, the story after that is going to be, can she beat Io Sky? Because the story right now is she has never beaten Io Sky. And I know that kind of leaves Naomi hanging, but if, as we talked about from night 1, if Jade Cargill wins, does Naomi have a story in the Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill kind of triangle there, where she could challenge as a viable world title challenger? So I see a story for Naomi if she were to lose. I see a story for Rhea if she were to win. And I don't really see much of a story if Io wins, because it comes back to who challenges Io next. Because Rhea hasn't beaten her.
that's where I see a better story if Io wins. And trust me,
Maybe
Rhea wins a belt, I'm a happy guy. I see it better if Io wins, getting over on Ripley, because then of course that story comes out more like Rhea just can't beat
can't beat Io. Yeah, could be.
And that would be more of the story there.
But if Rhea pins, let's say, Naomi, again, it's triple threat, right?
Yeah, but
so if she pins Naomi and wins the title, she hasn't beaten Io yet. And there's still that story out there of, can she beat Io?
But is that as compelling as if she can't beat Io when Io has managed to regain the title in a 3-way match where she had an even chance at it?
That is where we disagree, my friend.
Okay, fair enough.
That is where we disagree.
All right, take us home here, sir.
Any side bets on this match? Because I don't really see one. I see this as a straight-up match between the women, and I think this match will stand on its own just fine with a phenomenal rating for it.
The only interference I could see is if you somehow got Bianca involved here. And if Bianca decided to fight, if Bianca turned heel here, going with Naomi.
Okay.
Naomi, not Naomi.
Naomi.
Which, I mean, in a way, could be interesting if you decide to pull the trigger on that one here. Because, I mean, the fact is, Bianca has been involved in the Rhea Io triangle. There is a case to be made. Screw it. Go ahead and put me down. Bianca interferes on behalf of Naomi. I'm sold. I sold myself.
Okay. All right, last match for night 2. It is the big one, the main event, for the undisputed WWE Championship, the reigning, defending, never seen 17 undisputed champion John Cena versus the challenger Cody Rhodes in
Racing New Jersey for the final time
in a street fight. Maybe they'll apply a New Jersey street name to this, but it is a street fight.
It's a Newark street fight. That would actually be good.
Newark Boulevard street fight.
It's a Hoboken hoedown street
That's
fight.
right. That's right.
We're going to fight in front of Sinatra's, the house where Sinatra was born.
We're going to fight in front of Jimmy Hoffa's grave.
If we can find it. Oh, wait, it's the end zone.
Oh, sweet Moses.
Okay.
Should I go first for this one?
Yeah, you're first.
All right, I'm going to go Cody Rhodes on this one.
All right.
I think Cody
Rhodes.
And I'm going to go, I think this one's going to be, I'm going to go 4-0 on this one.
Really? Okay.
It's kind of, I think it's still high because Cena's matches haven't been stellar, but this is a street fight. And I think it will draw from a number of disciplines in order to achieve said rating.
Okay. All right.
What about you, sir?
Well, first of all, I would like to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Your kind of thought process on this, because this has we've been running this kind of roundabout race, if you will, with Cena winning the title from Cody and then defending against various people and then now coming back to Cody.
Yes.
What is your thought process on Cody winning it here at SummerSlam? A good about 4 months at least, 4.5 months, let's call it, between now and the end of the John Cena retirement tour. What is your thoughts on why he loses the title here?
I think it's because of my side bet that I believe we will see Cody Rhodes turn heel at SummerSlam to win the Undisputed Championship, that he sells his soul to The Rock. I think we will see The Rock return in this match.
Okay.
Not Travis Scott, because God knows that was the lamest of lame entrances and I don't know, interferences
I
that
have to
needed
hear
to happen.
Fiend one more time.
Sweet Moses.
Just take me, Lord, take me.
My thought here is I think John Cena loses to Cody and spends the remaining months of his retirement tour building up to a match in December where he faces off against the beast that retires individuals known as Gunther. And I say that because I feel like the Goldberg match that Gunther had now, again, Randy Orton, ran with that gimmick of being the legend killer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying Gunther is trying to build that sort of reputation, but if Gunther, let's say what we talked about happens where CM Punk beats Gunther, regardless of whether Rollins cashes in or not, Gunther is now released of the world title. Cena is now released of his world title. Cena now can spend the next few months building up goodwill with the fans to then go into a last match in December in Boston with Gunther, where Gunther retires him convincingly. And Cena still has the adulation of the crowd. In the meantime, Cody Rhodes now goes down a road where he is the bad guy, where he maybe thinks he is still the hero, but he is clearly the villain.
Mm.
And now there is a set of matchups with him that are much more compelling because he is now playing opposite, the role that he's been playing over the last 3 years, which has been the white meat babyface.
Mm.
And it just feels like now is the time to pull the trigger on it, because if you have Cena hold the title all the way to December, it becomes too obvious because he's retiring. And it's like, okay, of course Cody's going to beat him because they're not really going to have him retire with the championship. Sure, they could have him do it, but it feels, like what does that story accomplish then? Then the heel John Cena is proven right, and WWE is left without a world champion. Whereas I feel like if Cody beats Cena, Cena has driven him to a point where he feels he needs to go down this dark road. And maybe he doesn't, again, a hero wouldn't feel that need to go down that dark road. But in this case, Cody feels he's exhausted all options and he has to, he has to do this. I think that's where Cody goes. And now he has a fresh slate of, babyface opponents that he can face for the world title. That's kind of my thought.
So, man, you almost convinced me. And in a way, you kind of convinced me more of an alternate path.
Okay.
Because first and foremost,
by the way,
yes,
you can now have a Cody Reigns match that has a very different feel to it, because now Reigns is the babyface and Cody is the heel.
Totally, yeah, and we know that Reigns' time is ticking in the WWE at this point. The biggest the biggest problem I have with all of this is I do not want to see The Rock on WWE television ever again. I just want to forget because we've already gotten to that point now with the John Cena storyline where it's like it's Wayne's World, sort of like just forget it ever happened. Forget The Rock was ever involved, because that was the big thing, and then we ain't seen him since. There is no explanation of how John Cena sold his soul to The Rock and how that influenced any of this. So we've already got past the point. God, we're all trying to friggin' forget that. But so there is that. However, what And I know that Cody, again, just in some of the vague pickups I've caught from clips and snippets here and there, I know Cody has acted a little bit more heel-ish in the last month or so. However, I feel like there needs to be one more defeat to push him over the edge. I feel like this is the thing. If Cena can get over on him here, this is the moment where Cody is like, frack it, I can't do this unless. And maybe we do see The Rock. Maybe there is some sort of interference or whatever, or shenanigans. Maybe it's not overtly to defeat Cena or defeat Cody, but whatever. But there's something that where Cody is like, I can't do this. And then down the line, we get a Cody making the turn. I think that would be more. I feel like that would be the more impactful if Cody had just another big defeat, like literally snatching, Cena snatches victory from the jaws of defeat, and Cody is left there like, what the frig? Like, I already went through this with Roman Reigns before. I went through this with John Cena before. What do I got to do to get this and to hang on to it? I guess I just got to give it all up, sell out completely. I feel like there's one more big defeat that needs to happen. I feel like this is it. So I'm going to go with John Cena retaining. Okay. I'm going to go 3 3/4 stars because I don't think it's going to be pretty. Because as we've seen from at least from the clip that I saw of John Cena's sell on the belt shot, John's just trying not to get hurt. And you know what? At his age, damn it, I understand that 100%. Just be able to walk away. So
any side bets?
I don't want The Rock to show up. Dear God.
And yet you do.
No, I don't. But I feel like it might almost be necessary. I don't know. You know what? I feel like this almost becomes more meaningful if it is a clean match. If somehow Cena pulls it out clean over Cody, that is like the thing that tips him over the edge. Like, what do I can't do it. I can't do it. Even if it is some sort of like shenanigans or coincidence or there's a hoodwinking involved. I don't really have a side bet for this.
Okay.
Yeah. Screw it. Keep it clean.
All right. Keep it clean. That's how we're going to roll. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our guesses for SummerSlam 2025, nights 1 and 2. Sir, what is next on the docket for us?
What do you got for And Another Thing? A suggestion or a recommendation for our viewers and listeners?
This one's hot off the presses. It actually, came out today, June.
Wow, I didn't
Tuesday,
realize
July 29th. It is WWE Unreal. It is a behind-the-scenes view. This is interesting because it really kind of pulls back the curtain on a lot of the mechanics behind what makes a pro wrestling show work. I'm 11 minutes away from finishing the first episode, which is really centered around the January 6th debut on Netflix. And it goes into great detail about certain superstars, as well as parts of the show, such as the gorilla position, which gives the viewer, if you weren't already familiar with what that gorilla position was about, gives them context for why that position is so important to the overall show. And so it really gets into the mechanics of how a show works. And it's really quite fascinating because it really gets into the idea of what the producers of matches do in terms of managing the timing of a match, how they pre-feed information about what's going to happen in the match to the cameramen so that they to the truck so that they switch camera angles appropriately for what the action is about to be. So and that was news to me. Like, I've always watched Raw and, just enjoyed the way that WWE films, the action of the matches, not realizing that the producers of said matches are a key part to guiding the cameras to what shots they should be doing based on the action that's about to happen. And they show really in gory detail, one of the agents or one of the producers, as they're calling the match for the truck to be able to adjust the camera angles based on what's about to happen. And so, I would just highly recommend it. I mean, I haven't seen the other 5 or 6 episodes that are part of this first season, but just from the first episode I've seen, it is, for me as a fan of the business and of this industry, just very, very fascinating to understand, yet another layer to how this business works. Kind of curious on how much they're going to show, because it does run the risk of, revealing maybe a bit too much. But so far, I haven't seen anything that has, and for me at least, ruined what I'm, going to watch on, for example, this weekend with SummerSlam. So, so would highly recommend for our viewers, or listeners, WWE Unreal, streaming on Netflix.
Have you listened to any of the Jim Cornette? I guess it's what was it, agent reports that from TNA that he's been posting?
Unfortunately, I have not.
So he's been digging back through his filing cabinet, and Jim Cornette, if nothing else, is a custodian of records for professional wrestling that he's been involved in, and has gone in before about different meetings and things that he's had during his time in WWF. But he has been diving back into his time in TNA when he was asked to do this thing where he would, Terry Taylor had asked him, like, hey, just tell us how you view things. Tell us how you would, tell us in person, give it to us straight. And at a time in TNA when he was essentially taking on a ton of responsibility, and he was the producer of several matches, producing a lot of the main event matches, but was also being asked to go into the truck to call the matches as well. And because he was the one who knew what the hell was going on for a lot of these matches. So he was doing like a little bit of everything. So it's kind of interesting that you talk about that, because it's not something I would have necessarily thought about before either, is like, oh yeah, the person who's really working with the wrestlers to kind of sculpt and curate and get the match from A to Z is also the person who's going to tell the people who are shooting it, like, okay, watch out for this. When this is happening, this is going to happen, and make sure you get this, because yeah, certain things are going to look great from an angle and they're going to look like absolute crap from another angle. So yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
I am going to have to watch that, because I am such a behind the scenes fan of crap like that. So I will end up watching it probably after we record this, and I'll stay up until 3 a.m. So thank you.
You're welcome.
My recommendation, yes, you do, to completely ruin my sleep habits. My recommendation for our viewers and listeners is Hit It Hard on Disney Plus. This is a documentary, an ESPN 30 for 30 documentary on the one and only John Daly, who back, now I feel like people kind of, if you watch social media, you can kind of get this picture of like John Daly as kind of like this easygoing guy who he's out in the course, and you're like, oh yeah, he hits, this and that and the other. Back in the 90s, when John Daly sprung onto the scene in golf, it was like nothing anyone had ever seen. Like, he was this dude who he had the blonde mullet, and he won the PGA Championship as like the 8th or 9th alternate, and got the word like the day before that he was going to be in the tournament, and he won it. And this dude who just hit the friggin' driver so friggin' far, like and the grip it and rip it thing, like he just pick up the club and just friggin' smack that ball 300 plus yards. And again, like just the different approach to hitting was so antithetical to everyone else who was playing at the time. Where it was like, oh, very careful in this, and he just get up there and like, wham, and to learn now afterwards, like essentially it would show up and be like, all right, let me have a smoke, a cocktail, and hey, what's the course record, sort of thing.
Yeah,
is kind of remarkable to watch this documentary of like the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, and to kind of see him in between now, where he's still kind of that guy, but it seems like he's kind of found a middle ground where it's like, okay, I can exist here and not completely press the self-destruct button on my life.
Yep.
It's almost enough to make me want to play golf again until I remember just how infuriating that game was for me and how much money I spent on it. And then I realized probably not the thing for me.
Hey, aren't you?
Yeah. That guy who was like throwing a 9-iron off of the 8th green. Yes, that was me. But yeah, I would definitely
Shooter McGavin. But...
oh no, I couldn't. I was not that good. Not that good. So definitely watch Hit It Hard. So it's ESPN or ESPN Plus, but if you have that whole Disney Plus subscription tier, whatever the hell it is, you can find it there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to, kind of lasso our idiocy and take this traveling medicine show down the road to the next unsuspecting town. Those poor sons of bitches. Thank y'all for tuning in. We do so appreciate y'all. Y'all members of the Free Range Idiocy congregation. If you'd like to join the congregation, all you have to do is go to freerangeidiocy.com. You can find all of our episodes there. You can download them one by one or all of them. You can subscribe to the Podbean app. You can also find us on all the major podcast purveyors. That would be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, all of those. Go ahead and search for us there. You'll find us for sure. You can find full video episodes on Spotify as well as our YouTube channel, which is at Free Range Idiocy. You can find us on the social medias on Facebook and or Instagram. Both of those are at Free Range Idiocy as well. You can send us suggestions. My God, we take suggestions.
We'll take them.
No, we don't give them back. And quite honestly, we take a healthy dose of penicillin after we take your suggestions. But send those to Tim at freerangeidiocy.com and he'll get back to you ASAP, if not sooner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me, Uncle Todd, the person who has been yapping nonstop.
It's me. It's DDP.
Diamond Cutter.
Bang!
To turn this show over to the least idiotic member of the team that brings you this idiocy. Quite honestly, it's a low bar, sir. You can basically like step over it. But not before I ask the second most important question in all of human history. The first, of course, being what is hip. The second being, what in the hell did we learn this episode, sir?
We've learned the following. We've learned that at Free Range Idiocy, we recognize the impact of Hulk Hogan, but also, still question some of the more personal choices.
You are worse than Hulk Hogan.
Fair enough, Sheiky. We will take it. We've also learned that here at Free Range Idiocy, we, are pretty much on the ball, pretty much nose to nose with most of our picks, except for a couple when it comes to SummerSlam. And we will find out who is the more seasoned when it comes to the adjudication and picks for these matches. We've also learned, even though this carries over a little bit from Week in Geek Wednesday, that the man they called Tim was 100% right, and Franklin was left behind with Dr. Doom at the end of the movie. Just want to call that out. We've also learned that the man they called Tim is right because he is showered in gold. And here it is for all to see. We have also learned that Uncle Todd is strongly considering another run this season at fantasy football. We look forward to his participation in the campaign that is.
Why are you trying to just piss me off? Like seriously, I've been quiet this whole time, listening to your segment, and you're just poking me.
I'm just saying that Uncle Todd is.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching
potentially
you. I'm not touching you.
Going to, jump in and throw his hat into the ring for the 2025-2026 campaign.
Yep. And Uncle Todd might potentially take a gigantic dump later after this.
That could happen as well, but we will see. We will see. All that being said, as we like to close things out here on the range, be safe. Be healthy, be kind, be good to one another. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. The range is closed for now.
Come on.
See ya.
Like a Mussolini.
That's right, I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
Damn!
You're such a disappointing pair. I prayed so hard for you.
I think you've had about enough.
Well, I think you're wrong, you increasingly attractive-looking woman. You know, you're really pretty.
Oh, stop.
No, I'm serious. You could be in magazines. You could. You can, and not just like Jugs or Creamsicle. Call me. She won't call.
Oh, here's a pleasant sight. Cirrhosis the Wonder Dog.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment. And a stomach virus. And an inner ear infection.
Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
Why, Johnny Ringo. You look like somebody just walked over your grave.
So say we all.
So say we all. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Can we get a little music to close this out?
It's 12:43 a.m. here on the East Coast, and you're watching Perspectives.
Indeed you are.
And Uncle Todd is, well, let's not talk about how many beers deep into the night Uncle Todd is.
I think it's about 4. Ooh. 5. Hello.
You can't see me.
No, we can't.
Did it now.
We done did it.
Chaos, you should have put this one in the vault, man.
Should have put it in the
They
vault.
not ready. They don't know what's coming.
We're not ready. Here it is, baby.
Drop this on them right here. Y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all ain't ready for
Come
none
on.
of this. Your boy's a bad man. And we invading the streets, make them clap a rapper skirt. They be dropping the heat. Shock the world. I'm standing alone. I flip fools like them clamshell cellular phones. You can't help but nod your head to the track.
That's right.
The water down rap, we be taking it back. Give it to me straight. Ain't no chasing it. Check yourself in the mirror. Ain't no facing it. Cause you playing the role and you planning to fold. This the master plan. We got the planet on hold. We all over the streets like your favorite sneaker. Breaking up your sound like a drive-thru.
Now get the hell out of here!